Everyone wants to make money online, but almost nobody wants to build a business online. People don't fail because the internet is too competitive. They fail because they treat online income like a lottery ticket, not like a system. They post a few videos, try a drop shipping store for 2 weeks, open an Etsy shop, then abandon it. And when it doesn't work fast enough, they say, "See, online business is a scam." But no, your approach is the scam. Today I want to break down why most people fail online, the mental traps that quietly kill momentum, and the boring systems that actually build results, that compound instead of reset. Let's start with the biggest problem. Most people don't build online income. They gamble on it. They're hunting for the one video that goes viral, the one product that explodes overnight, the one post that changes everything. They treat every upload like a scratch-off ticket. If it doesn't hit, they assume the whole game is rigged. But the internet doesn't reward luck. It rewards volume, consistency, and improvement over time. When you treat online income like a lottery ticket, 3 things happen. First, you chase dopamine instead of discipline. You only feel motivated when views spike or sales pop. When nothing happens, your energy collapses. So your work becomes emotional. You post when you're excited. You disappear when you're discouraged. That's not how momentum is built. That's how momentum is broken. Second, you never build skill. You don't get better at scripting, storytelling, editing, marketing, or offers, because you're not staying in one lane long enough to improve. Skill compounds when you repeat the same type of work and deliberately get slightly better each time. When you jump from idea to idea, you reset your learning curve to 0, over and over again. Third, you emotionally attach to outcomes instead of inputs. If the numbers go up, you feel like a genius. If they don't, you feel like a failure. But outcomes are delayed, inputs are controllable. Professionals obsess over inputs. Amateurs ride the emotional roller coaster of outcomes. That's why most people burn out. Real online income doesn't come from hitting it big. It comes from stacking reps. The internet rewards people who show up when it's boring, when no one is watching, when the algorithm hasn't noticed them yet. That's where leverage is built. Here's the uncomfortable truth most people don't want to hear. Most people don't fail online. They quit before the curve bends. Every online project has the same ugly phase. Low views, no traction, 0 feedback, no validation. This is the phase where the system is working. But your ego is starving. You're learning how to write better hooks. You're learning pacing. You're learning what topics resonate. But because you're not being rewarded publicly yet, you assume you're failing. So people pivot. They switch niches. They switch platforms. They switch business models. They start fresh. Not because the idea was bad, but because staying the course feels slow and invisible. Here's the problem with that. Momentum is invisible until it isn't. Most people quit when they're 1 or 2 cycles away from the work finally compounding. You don't need a new idea. You need enough time under one idea for momentum to exist. Online success is delayed gratification on steroids. The people who win aren't smarter. They're not luckier. They're just willing to be unimpressive in public, longer than everyone else. They are okay with being small, unknown, and ignored. While they're building competence, you don't get rewarded for starting. You get rewarded for staying. Another reason people fail online is they don't build systems. They just post content and hope. Hope is not a strategy. A system means you know what content you're making, why you're making it, what metric tells you if it's working, and what you adjust next. Most people have none of that. They upload randomly. They don't track retention. They don't study thumbnails. They don't analyze hooks. They don't test formats. So every upload is emotional. They feel good when views spike. They feel defeated when views dip. And because they don't know why anything worked or failed, they can't improve deliberately. A feedback loop changes everything. You publish. You review performance. You identify what held attention and what lost it. You isolate one variable to improve next time. Over time, this compounds into skill. Not luck, not virality. Skill. Without feedback loops, you're just busy. With them, you're building a machine. Online income isn't built by inspiration. It's built by iteration. The final reason most people fail online is they treat it like a hobby and expect business results. A hobby is what you do when you feel like it. A business is what you do because it's scheduled. A hobby posts when motivated. A business posts on a calendar. A hobby reacts emotionally to performance. A business adjusts strategically. The internet is brutally fair. It rewards people who show up like professionals, even when they're invisible. You don't try to build online income. You operate it. That means a production schedule, a defined niche, a specific audience, a repeatable format, and a long-term operating horizon. This is boring, and that's exactly why it works. Here's a simple mental model you can use. Think of your channel like a factory. Your job isn't to hope the factory produces gold today. Your job is to make the factory slightly more efficient every week. Better hooks, clearer topics, cleaner delivery, tighter editing. If the factory improves, output improves. If you just hope for a miracle, you'll always be disappointed. If you remember one thing from this video, remember this. Online income isn't a lottery ticket. It's a system you run long enough for momentum to exist. Pick one lane. Build one machine. Improve one process at a time. And give it enough time to compound. Not weeks, not months. Long enough to outlast the people who quit. That's the edge. If you're building something online right now, don't look for motivation. Look for consistency. And if this helped recalibrate how you think about building income online, subscribe. More breakdowns coming on building systems the boring way, the way that actually works. If you're done chasing shortcuts and actually want to build something real, like and subscribe. Everything on Grind to Million is about building systems that compound, not gambling on virality.